Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF coming at you with another video. All right, so when you know something is on the way, when you know something's coming, you can, if you're me, just jump ahead of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you've watched as much sports as I have, when you've Lakers, particularly basketball, NBA basketball, you've seen all the rumors that come. You know how the media tends to spin things or sees an opportunity with a circumstance. I see it. I see it as clear as day. I'm pretty sure sometime this week, what I'm about to say is going to be a thing. And it's going to be a thing until it's not a thing. You'll see what I mean by that. Ja Morant, Laker trade rumors. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we're entering into a very, very low-hanging fruit space where we talk about the most obvious and inevitable clickbaity title that will be available to us this upcoming month. Trade rumors for Ja Morant, particularly to the LA Lakers for LeBron James or Anthony Davis or it had to be one of them two. But that's what I'm here to say. Ja Morant's contract is obviously up in the cosmos. He's one of the best. He's one of the faces of the league right now. If you got about 10 people, he's in that 10. He's one of the faces of the NBA. And he's in a space where he's going to be away from the team in a very pivotal moment. Now, luckily enough for them, they've locked up their playoff positioning. I think they're locked in. I don't think if they lose all their games, they fall all the way out of the playoffs. But then again, the way the NBA Western Conference is set up right now, that probably is the case. They probably aren't locked up. In fact, they aren't locked because there would be X next to their name. So they could lose all their games, still miss the playoffs. But the likelihood of that happening, it probably isn't high. However, if you're the Memphis Grizzlies, you understand this is a dude you're paying $200 million. And the thing about the Memphis Grizzlies, I'll tell you the truth. They're a defensive team. He don't play defense. So that's the first thing people need to understand. The Memphis Grizzlies are a defensive team, and the guy they're paying the most money doesn't play any damn defense. What does that tell me? In all honesty, that tells me that they can replace him and upgrade their overall situation. Now, you would say, Brandon, you're not replacing Ja Morant to upgrade your situation. Yes, you are. If you know what the hell you're doing, you can. Because at the end of the day, he's a one-way superstar. He ain't guarding nobody. So if you find somebody that's two-way and you put them on a Memphis Grizzly team, you're probably a better squad depending on what it is he can do for you. Depending on what it is he can do for you. Ja Morant is a very, very nice superstar player who can bring a lot of continuity, a lot of rebounding, infinite amount of scoring, and an infinite amount of excitement about your team. More than anything, excitement. Because he's going to jump over people. So it's one of them situations where, and he's so athletic. He's so phenomenally gifted in terms of his athleticism that you will not be replacing him. You ain't going to find him. There's no two of those. However, when it comes to his floor game, you can find guys that are better basketball players than Ja. Not many. I ain't gonna sit there and poo-poo that. Not many, but you can. You can. And so with Ja playing around with his career the way that he is, he better understand that. We've seen guys come around your status before, bro. At 38 years of age, I've seen many people wear Ja shoes. Many. And at the end of the day, a lot of them thought that they were never going to take them shoes off. A lot of them thought they were never going to get old. A lot of them thought that they could do whatever they want. A lot of them thought that it wasn't harmless, allowing themselves to be seen negatively or what have you in the media. And the thing about it is, because those people lived and we've seen their lives play out, now these organizations have an understanding of how they want to handle these type of people based on those histories, based on going through all that many times over. So a guy like Ja is new to the world, but the world he's in is not new to people like him. And that's the problem. It's not new to you, bro. They didn't see it all twice. Before you even born, they were dealing with people like that. So it's like, that's what John needs to understand. Just because you're new to the world or you think you're the top of the world, you can do everything, doesn't mean that the people who are in charge of paying you aren't tired of people like you, to be completely honest with you. They dead tired of it. And so at this point, it's on Ja to understand that. We're right in front of the collective bargaining negotiation process. We're about 10 minutes away from that. And he's playing around like he's at the top of the world, like he doesn't have warring entities on either side of him trying to squeeze him out of his position and or exploit him out of his money. See, that's the thing. You're not the only thing going on. You're not the only thing smoking, Ja. You got a guy by the name of Trae Young who needs to get the hell out of Atlanta, it seems. You got LeBron James, who's on the tail end of his career. You got a guy like Bradley Beal, who got a contract that's just weighing the Wizards down for no reason. You got a guy like Zach LaVine, whose contract is weighing the Chicago Bulls down for no reason. You got a Brooklyn team that would love to have a superstar again. You got all these situations that Ja Morant could easily fit into and get uprooted from his home in Memphis. The culture that he's loving, sitting on top of the world in the most hot city in the country right now. It's like he doesn't think it could all end. It seems. It's like he doesn't think he can get traded. I remember when the Lakers came to town one time, he beat us and he said, "We're going to send them home. They purple and yellow or they whatever their colors is." I'm like, brother, you're going to know all about them colors. You keep playing around. You're going to know all about our culture because your butt going to be a Laker. And it ain't going to be because you want to be. It's going to be because you couldn't cut it in Memphis and they had to get rid of you. So I see it coming. I don't know that that's going to happen. I would say that it's not going to happen because I think he's going to get his head right. I think the people around him are going to shake him up and get him to understanding that, you know, what he's after ain't nothing that's going to allow what he's enjoying to sustain. Yeah, that's what he needs to understand. Once you start chasing what you're chasing, you're asking for your happiness to end. And so that's what he needs to be able to absorb, believe, and then psych himself in to stop doing quickly. And so I think he's going to go somewhere and get some help. If there's anything that has to be, you know, done, like I said, over time, sometimes people have to take time away, go somewhere, sit down, get their mind, body right. If that's where he's at, he's probably going to be out for the season. And so people need to prepare themselves for that in Memphis. I don't think that's what's ultimately going to happen, but it would be wise to be prepared for that. I think personally he probably ain't going to miss too many games because they're in the playoff hunt, obviously, and they just lost a game to the Clippers. They got a game with the Lakers tomorrow too. They probably ain't going to win that one. So it's like, you know, the games are going to start. The losses are going to likely start piling up for the Memphis Grizzlies. And whatever Ja's got going on, he's going to realize that he needs to kind of cut it in half and get back to the basketball court. I think that's kind of going to be the energy. Now, whether or not he'll be able to do that is a whole nother story. But I can guarantee you he going to want to when he's watching his team not winning. And hopefully that'll be enough for him. He's only 24 years old. Sometimes that's it. You wake up in this moment right here, 24. Next year, he's not going to be as retarded about what he's doing. Forgive the R word, but slipped out. But he ain't going to be as stupid about what he's doing. At the end of the day, he's going to have to just grow up, man. It ain't deeper than that. And maybe a change of scenery would be good for him, honestly. Maybe he doesn't need to be in Memphis anymore. As it pertains to what Memphis is right now, he don't need to be leading a team that's in Memphis in 2023. That's what this tells me. It's too much for him. He ain't built for being able to block out the distractions. One thing I loved about having Kobe on this team is he was in LA, but he was not of LA, bro, at all. And that's why he was ultimately became the king of LA. Because the key to winning and dominating out here is to ignore the noise and the circus and the limelight that comes with this city. You got to be blue collar while everybody around you is Hollywood if you want to dominate here. So, you know, it's a whole different world in Los Angeles, and you got to be built a certain way for this. And I can tell you, if he ain't built for Memphis, he probably ain't built for the Lakers either. But at the end of the day, it's about where he's at right now. You know, it's about what the city and the country and everybody's about right now out there. And it's just too vibrant, man. It's too live out there right now for him. And that's what it seems to me, you know. It's just like the rise of Atlanta about 12 years ago or 13 or however long it's been. It's like that's a hot spot, bro. And if you are winning and you're the biggest guy in the biggest city, obviously it's going to be a whirlwind for you. You're going to be in the thick of the era that the city is in. And that's what's also going on with Ja Morant. He's in the thick of that era. They're living a real vibrant life. There's a lot of money flowing through there, and he got a lot of it himself. So whatever the peak Memphis nightlife is in 2023, whatever the celebrities are about, whatever the street life is about, chances are Ja Morant is going to be in the thick of it all. Because everybody, when it's time to come to Memphis, they're going to want to see him. They're going to want to hang with Ja. That's one of the first things they're going to want to do. They're going to want to get around the Grizzly team, and that's how they shine out there. So I don't think I personally don't think he should be in that situation no more. I don't think so. He needs to get the hell away from that place. And that's another reason why I made this video. He needs to be somewhere else. I don't think the Memphis Grizzlies go trade him. I'm not saying that I think that this is going to happen. I think the rumors are coming, which is what I'm jumping ahead of. But them actually trading away their superstar kid, his value is going to have to decrease because of this situation significantly more than it is right now before they be willing to move on from him. I'll tell you that. But that doesn't mean ESPN ain't about to jump on top of that. He gonna be a Laker in their mind for the rest of the month. I'll tell you that. Or a Knick, or a Net, whatever one of them teams, just like the Lakers. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. I think Ja Morant is gonna be fine in the end if he could just get his soul right. I think it's not as, for me, I'm a spiritual person, man, so I know it ain't necessarily just about having your priorities in order. You can still get bit by whatever other circumstances might be in your place. You got to have your whole idea about what you want to be and how you want to be intact. At this point, if you're Ja Morant, you got to be thinking about long term. You got to be thinking about life after basketball and family life after you, all these different things, with real stuff. When you have as much as Ja has, you need to be thinking about other stuff than what he's been thinking about lately, I think. I honestly believe that. And so that's what I think, man. Ja's got to just handle his business, get his head right, sit down, listen to some people who understand what it is that he's going through, believe that he can get better, believe that the energy that he's been engaging in can be detrimental to him like everybody's saying it is. Because it don't mean nothing if you don't believe it. You got to believe that. Maybe he needs to see some stories. Maybe he needs to sit down with some people who had it taken off from him. That kind of thing. He needs that scared straight type of thing. He needs that. Because at the end of the day, what I just see is a kid, just like a lot of 24-year-olds, to want to be down, got a lot of money, so all the cool people are around him, and that's the problem. He doesn't have to appeal to the coolest people. The coolest people are appealing to him because of what he has and who he is. That is a very dangerous situation there. When a kid is 24 years old, got all the money in the world, and all of the coolest people he loves are appealing to him. You see what I'm saying? That's what it is. All the rappers and all the famous whoever's, all the big time people in the city, they want to shake hands with Ja Morant. They want to get photo ops with Ja Morant. They want to be around the women that Ja Morant is around. You see what I'm saying? And that's the biggest problem with the appeal and the lure of the lifestyle. You know what I mean? When you got that perfect fusion of the success of him and the city, and then the perfect fusion of all the other stuff going on with the culture out there, it's too much. It's very much too much, and I think that's what it is. So yeah, if I'm the Memphis Grizzlies, like I said, I'm not looking to move on from Ja unless his value decreases a bit more than it is. But I'll tell you this. It doesn't necessarily mean that I think he should probably be here. It just means I'm going to keep him here for the betterment of myself. You feel me? As an owner of the Memphis Grizzlies, I'm not moving Ja Morant because that's $1 billion in my future. But whether or not it's best for the kid, for the man, probably not. Nah, he needs to get the hell out of here. He needs to get the hell out of Memphis fast, too, if you ask me. And that's another thing, man. It's just about, like, if you're in that lifestyle, you're over there, you're doing whatever it is they doing out there. The culture is that of hip hop, man. And you know how hip hop is right now. We're spinning the block. It's a lot of shooting. It's a lot of drug selling. It's a lot of money being made a lot of funny ways. And so if that's the culture you're appealing to, then you got to understand that you're also asking for what comes with that. RICO charges, long, drawn out jail sentences, and death. You know what I mean? Holding guns to your head and acting like you a crazed, Joker-like entity. You know how the Joker's story ended, right? That's how you looked on that camera, like you was trying to be like the Joker or something. That was the energy. And my thing is, if you wildin' to that degree, you know what I mean? Then obviously you've lost sight of what matters to you. You can be just as dangerous without presenting that image. That's the reality of it. And I say that to anybody, man. You can do all that stuff without presenting all of that. You can be all of that without people actually knowing all of that, and it will be just as effective if they ever come at you. You know what I'm saying? In fact, more effective if you catch them off guard. So it's like, I don't know, man. Ja's got too much money to be doing any of this stuff. I think it's just about a philosophy as it pertains to how to live. If he knew better, he would do a lot better. Hire the right people to ensure he never has those issues. Keep certain people from around him that can put him in a position to be caught up in anything that ain't positive. Protect his surroundings as it pertains to the oops, this just happened around me type stuff that can really happen when you keep a lot of people you don't know around you. when you got the type of money and status he has, things go wrong, bro. You remember Jason Williams? Not the basketball player who was white chocolate. No, the other one from the Nets, the rebounder that ended up making the all-star team over Dennis Rodman that year, which was crazy. That guy, his situation, things went wrong, man. In a split second, his whole life changed. He was doing great, and then boom, never again was he the same. Never again did you see him on TV. Never, none of that. And so what I'm telling you is, Ja Morant needs to know stories like that. He needs to know stories where things just went wrong because people did the wrong thing in a split second. Things went wrong because he left the wrong people around him because he was playing with guns. Stupid stuff like that, man. You gotta know better. Because certain mistakes you can't make twice. And if you do, it's, you make that mistake once, it could be your life. So that's why I think Ja is at. He want to hang around people who are doing real stuff. And I don't know, for all I know, he was doing real stuff in South Carolina too before he got here. Everybody's saying, oh, he was a prep kid. I knew prep kids who did other things when they left school, bro. I went to Catholic school. Tuition there was expensive as hell. Some of them kids was doing stuff they had no business doing when they left school, bro. And I was in junior high. This wasn't even high school. This was like 6th grade. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that doesn't mean anything to me. Dudes in private school, some of them private school kids are bad to their souls. They just got a lot of money and good parents. So that didn't mean nothing. But at the end of the day, he's got to know what image he don't want to put out. He got to know what image ain't going to be good for him. He got to know the word conditioning and how jumping into raw situations like that when you're older in life and you wasn't living like that is dangerous. It's dangerous, bro. You ain't really a G like that, but you want to start being a gangster at 24? It's dangerous. That's what I know. And a lot of people who do that, it's hard for them trying to get that respect. It's harder because it's not going to be taken seriously. I don't know how it is in other cities, but in LA, you want to gangbang at what age? You want to start gangbanging at 20, 22, 23? You're old, you're washed, and you look like a fool. 9 out of 10 times. 9 out of 10 times, bro. 9 out of 10 times. If you didn't start when you was 12 or 13, don't be trying to act like you real around people who did. They're going to look at you like a child. That's what I know. So these are type of things like John he need to be able to like understand that, bro. Like if you didn't have that money and you couldn't jump like that and you was doing all that goofy stuff, it wouldn't be received the same, bro. It's the status that allows for a lot. And so that's what I would tell Ja. People would accept him doing a multitude of things because of the money and the status that he has. Do you understand what I mean? You could act like a gangster if you want, or you can act like a bakery owner. Like you could act like you could identify however you want, Ja, and there's going to be a group of people who are going to surround you and tell you, yep, just because of what you have and your status, bro. So don't think for 1 second that they are appealing to that gangster image. They are appealing to that money, bro. You could walk around with a tutu on. It wouldn't make no damn difference. And money-hungry people would still be doing whatever that they're doing now. Seriously, it wouldn't change nothing. Just be different people who could tolerate this different way of you. Same energy. So that's what I tell Ja Morant, man. Just surround yourself with the right people. If you believe in God, get closer to him, man. If you don't believe in God, I don't know what to tell. I don't have a thought, man. Everything I do has to do with believing in something bigger than me. But I think a lot of times when people don't, they open themselves up for so much, man. So much that could go wrong, especially if they have a lot. You could lose a lot. It's the same. So don't be trusting these people around you too, man. Not everybody is to not be trusted. You don't want to walk around having no trust in your heart. That's one of the things I pray about a lot. Lord, help me trust who I need to trust, and keep the people around me who need to be trusted around me and make me trustworthy as well. But just in general, when you don't be praying prayers like that, when that's not how you think and that ain't how you move and you're not really spiritually inclined at all, you got to be very, very selective. You got to be very selective, man. If you're supposed to be a godless person and you ain't got no God in your life at all, if there's nothing greater than you, then you had better be on top of a lot, man. You had better be aware of the environment you in and how it can change and what can go wrong. It's a lot of stuff you got to be on top of if you ain't going to submit to something that's going to be on top of all of that for you. So it's a lot of people walking around like there is no God, but they also not on top of the stuff that a God would be on top of. So they get blindsided by life. And it's like, bro, you can't assume that you're not going to suffer when you live that way. You can't assume that you're not going to suffer. History going to tell you that people move like that often end up unhappy. However it play out, they ain't going to be on the right side of it. So that's what I want to say, man. Be careful who you keep around you, bro. Not everybody needs to be in your house. I had a good friend. Still do. It's one of my friends to this day. I haven't spoken to him in a while, but I used to go to his house all the time. But he always had different people there. And he liked it like that. It was a revolving door. Sometimes people would sleep over at that man's house. You're like, who over here now, bro? Like, who is this person? Damn, who is this person? And it's cool because he had that personality he was the type of person who liked a lot of people, however that goes, like a social butterfly or whatever. So it's cool, but it's like you just got to be careful who you leave around you, because sometimes people bring their demons and their garbage and their baggage and their troubles to your house. They bring it to you, and whatever it is they got going on, you're involved in it. It's like getting in the car with the wrong person. You get in the wrong person car, you don't know what it is where they're coming from, where they're in route to, in between taking you where you going, or what's in that trunk. You know what I mean? What's in the panels? You don't know. And so a lot of times we just be getting in the car willy-nilly, especially at 23 years old. I get in whoever's car. Who we getting in the car with? Okay, let's go there. Okay, we ride with them. Cool. I don't know these people. Who cares? They got the weed. That type of stupidity gets you caught up in so much stuff that you don't even know is coming. You be riding in the car with somebody, get pulled over. Next thing you know, they got this, that, the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, and you in there with them. But you doing snitching? It's like, don't put yourself in those arenas, man. And that goes for people who don't have $300 million in the bank. That goes for people who ain't playing for the Memphis Grizzlies. They go for everybody. Be careful you keep around you. The back door is open at all times, especially if you're going to dabble in the devil's playground. You keeping around a lot of cool gangsters. Gangsters want money, bro. And if you got a lot of it, guess what they're going to be looking at if they can't get it nowhere else? Hey, you got it. Money's key, not loyalty, not friendship, none of that. These people are taking penitentiary chances. They're going to spend the rest of their lives in jail, some of them. Hey, you got the money, they're getting it from you. Either you're going to help them get it by way of whatever it is you can, or they're going to turn on you. It is what it is. So John Moran is asking for that, for sure. You leave enough of them people around you like that, you're going to have situations where your money going to part from you, bro. If it ain't the dudes, it's going to be the chicks. Just going to be honest with you. They coming for that. You got it. And that's what rich people need to understand, bro. Don't be hanging around broke people. I'm a broke person. I am a broke person. I don't have it. Don't hang around us. Okay? Not like that, bro. And the reason why is because you're in a space where you could change our lives and the lives of the people we love with what it is that you have. So if you're not going to provide those opportunities, then it's just between whether or not we're going to be of spiritual goodness and sacrifice to not take the chance of whatever it is we need to take a chance in order to get what we need to get to feed ourselves. And if you happen to be that, you got to understand, you could be the greatest guy, greatest gal, beautiful energy, happy souls, but people are living long lives or they've been broke for a long time, man. It ain't personal. You understand what I'm saying? When the gold diggers come around and they tell you they love you, it ain't personal. You've been broke. You got wealth. You know what I mean? When them dudes come around, they put the gun in your face, so come up off of that. A lot of times it ain't personal. You got it. They need it. It ain't deeper than that. And if you've never been in a desperate situation, you can't relate to that. So you don't know what it is they're feeling when they do that. They ain't playing. You better move fast. Real fast. Because that's a desperation you don't know. And if you were on the other side of that, you would understand how desperate they are. What it is that they're faced with, how much time they got before they caught, and all of that. You don't got time to be playing with people who are desperate when you have everything. Trying to be cool and appeal to them. You know what your responsibility is in that situation? Protect what it is that you have, friends. If you're wealthy, you got to protect what you have. You know what I'm saying? And this is where it becomes a big, huge disconnect, because I think a lot of people think that appealing to people like myself when they have so much is the only thing that really going to give them the respect that they deserve. It's not about appealing to us. You help and support us by way of giving us the best example. You know what I mean? If you're in the limelight and you got all that money, you invest properly. You give back, but you don't find yourself in situations where you sitting down in the apartment with somebody like myself, smoking weed and drinking and wasting time all day. When you're a millionaire, $100 million in, $200 million in, you need to be somewhere else doing things that are much more impactful for a bigger purpose than what it is I'm able to from within my space. So if you're sitting down here with me, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing as a millionaire, billionaire, whatever. This is real, man. It doesn't feel good to say this from my position. It doesn't. But this is the world we in, because I understand what it is you guarding against. You got to guard against my desperation. You got to guard against my desperation. And a guy like John Moran, who's not even thinking like that, he has somebody right next to him ready to do this, that, the third, the fourth, fifth, and sixth, and he just sitting there smiling, a little bitty pistol next to his head. You know, like, bro, they are plotting on taking every coin you got. Him, the one behind you, the one over there, the girl behind you, all of them. They're not there because you're a cool guy, friend. So it's like, we just got to be honest about these things, rip the Band-Aid all the way off, and tell people, like, this classism stuff, it sucks to high hell, man. But at the same time, there's reasons for that. There's reasons for all of it. And one of the reasons is, you got so much and you're not sharing with everybody, then chances are you're a hub for what everyone needs. You know, it is what it is. If you're sitting on $100 billion like Steve Ballmer, and you're going to stand in the middle of Compton, you can't be mad when everybody come up to you and say, yo, you got to give us what you have. Desperate. You could feed the whole village. You still have plenty left over. So it's just like, when you move, when you're him, or when you move in any level of wealth, you just got to respect that. Even if you got $10,000 in your pocket, it could feed the whole block. And the block may need feeding. You know, and don't get it confused. Just because you see somebody looking like they're shining doesn't mean that they don't have other things, man, that are very, very, very expensive in their lives. They can put forth the image that they just as rich as you, but they're plotting on your money just like the brokest person in the room. And that, my friends, is something that all rich people who are in this status, especially those youngsters like Ja, they need to be aware of that. Be aware of it, bro. So that's why I tell him, man, guard your circle. Guard your circle. Look at all them people around you. Make sure they never around you again, bro. You got away with it this time. You may not get away with it next time. That's simple, man. This is what extortion is made of. It's folly and stupidity and low frequency devilish nonsense like Ja's on. That's how people get money. That's how you get $50, $60 million. You find a patsy like that and you work him. Been in this city too long, man. I done heard all the stories. I done seen too much. And now it's just like, I could take what I've heard of, seen, and etc. and bring it into this channel and hope to God that somebody can get this information to these people. To get this opinion to these people, man. Because Hollywood and the limelight is not for your benefit. It's for the swaying of the common folk. You gotta sway their minds one way or another by way of your image. That is it. It's about making us feel something. It ain't about making you a damn thing. Celebrity. And that's what I'm trying to help people see, believe, and understand. So hopefully Josh somewhere getting his head right, getting his spirit right, sitting down with his loved ones, hugging his kid. Be next to your daughter, friend. If you're doing anything outside of these circumstances, you need to be next to his child. Because that's where the real love's at. Not in all these funny looking gangster image people around you just trying to be cool because they know that you got the money. No, it's in that young lady there who's going to be taking care of you when you are too sick and too old to take care of yourself. You make sure she has a good childhood, make sure she's straight, and she'll make sure your ass is straight. That's what it is. You be a dad, you know, because at the end of the day, that's what she needs. That's what she need a dad. She don't need a gangster. None of that. She needs a father, Ja. And I would tell T, Ja needs the same thing, homie. Ja needs the same thing, and that baby needs a granddaddy, so you got to be present. You can't be messing around enjoying your son's fame while he's out here blowing it. Because deep down, that is what I think is happening. Ja is out here wilding, and T is probably wilding too in his own way. In his own way. That's what I think is probably happening. Why T letting Ja do this? Because T's somewhere enjoying the good life, baby. And his son, he's where he's at. And that's how it goes for a lot of guys. Can you imagine you live your whole life, you have a seed, then he turns into John Morant. Now you get to live like this. It's like, for some people, man, they just as childish as the kid in that situation. All they dreams is coming true too. He ain't thinking about nothing you talk about. I'm sitting next to Usher. But the problem is, your son, man, he gonna throw it away prematurely. If you don't get over there and be dad, man. Tell you what, my pops and mom and all them, they prayed. They was praying, people. While I was wilding, they was praying. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've calmed down greatly. So if I'm a father, that's exactly, and I'm a believer, and I'm wilding, and I know I'm wilding, that's where you turn, man. Not just for your betterment, but for the betterment of the people that's coming after you, man. That's who you're responsible for. So that's my thought, man. I hope John Morant's able to see all these videos I got, man. You know, I say whatever I want to say, bro. I don't really care at this point about, you know, not having the confidence to speak freely or being wrong or anything like that. If you watch all my therapy sessions, I've been wrong more than I've been right. I've been broken more than I've been fixed. So I come from a place of peace when I tell people, you ain't the only one who got to get your life right. You ain't the only one who's dealing with something you don't know what to do, how to deal with. I'm in a space like that. But, you know, when it comes to this kind of thing, I've seen enough to know what to say in this situation. Ja's going to have to get his soul right. The people around him who ain't positive are going to have to be removed from his life. And he's going to have to not care about them in regards to what they think about that. He's going to have to come to terms with he cares more about his family, his circumstances, and his career than appealing to the damned. Because that's exactly what they are, friend. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching.